Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Motivation with Mommies Teatime, where we inspire and empower moms to manifest the life that they want. I am your host, Ramika Latash, and today we have the incredible Bernia Holman joining us. Bernia is a healthy lifestyle and nutrition transformation coach. Her life purpose is to help women overcome obstacles in order to become stronger and healthier in order to live out their God given dreams. She is a proud mother of two girls, one boy, and a loving wife, and a former elementary school teacher. She is the founder of Go Strong Fitness LLC, where she serves to reduce health disparities in communities by inspiring, educating, and equipping and empowering women to break unhealthy generational cycles and create healthy, sustainable lifestyles. Barnett has studied to become a certified trainer and weight management specialist, pre and prenatal coach, and yoga instructor as Isa and Gifts Gone Strong. She's also an author and wellness retreat host. Get ready to be inspired and motivated. Welcome,
Hi,
Bernard.
Ramika. Such a pleasure to be here with you.
Yes. Thank you for accepting my invite
Of
again,
course.
because you started with the beginning with me 5 years ago.
That's right.
And you have grown so much. I watched you grow, and I think you're a two-time author now.
Yes, there's two other books that are just sitting on the shelf right now that need to go out in the world. But yes.
Okay, okay. All
Yeah.
right, so we're gonna dive right in. Let our audience know what you're all about and what you're doing. Um, our first question is, as a wife and a mother of three, how do you find balance between your family and your career as a healthy lifestyle and nutritionist transformation coach?
Is balance such a thing? Is it even real? And I question that all the time. Like, is balance real? But I've come to realize that balance is not everyone or everything getting the same amount of time at the same time, but more
Mhm.
so getting valuable time when we have time with them, right? So if I'm working on my job, I try to work just on my job. If I'm with my family, I try not to do my job. So it's
Mhm.
really what really helps me is finding out what my true value system was.
Okay.
So figuring out what was important to me, my faith, my family, of course, fitness, because if I'm not healthy, how am I going to help anybody else if I'm not in a good state of mind, right? Our
Yeah.
finances, those are the things that bring in finances for us and the business and things like that. And then fun. What are things that I like to have for fun? So when I'm talking about faith, of course, my faith comes first. When I wake up in the morning, I make sure that I have time for God. What
Mhm.
is he trying to say to me? Am I, making sure that I give him honor in the morning for even waking up because that's a blessing.
Right.
And then, of course, my family. Do I have time? Not do I have time, but making sure that I make time for my
Mhm.
family, that I can show up for them intentionally and be there to support them. I have two young kids and one older one. So just making
Mhm.
sure that I'm here for them
Yes.
because time goes fast and
Yes,
they
it
are
does.
very important, right, to my life. When I talk about fit and my husband too, I won't leave him out. Fitness and wellness as well. And that is a priority in my life. And I need to make sure that I am healthy because I set the example for my children, right? If they see their mom eating healthy foods or sitting down to eat, making sure that I have time to exercise and move my body, then they're going to reflect that in their lives. Our kids are reflections of who we are and what we
Mhm.
show them, right? So making sure that I spend time on myself. And then, of course, the business. God gave me some things to do, and I need to make sure that I am dedicated to doing those things. And in some free time, I like to have fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, I watch you do the balancing thing. I've seen you post many videos while on vacation or even doing a class where you have the little ones working out with you, or
Yes.
you incorporate the workout with the kids.
Mhm.
And I think your daughter probably was doing it like before 1 years old, I believe. She
Yes.
was.
She was. And that's
Mhm.
that goes to show like what we're showing them, they're going to pick
Mhm.
up on and start doing on their own as well. So she'll come and work out with me. She'll, get on the treadmill, do her runs, and she'll
Uh-huh.
do planks. Sometimes she'll get on my back and make it more difficult for me, but that's
Right.
okay.
Yeah. And
And my
then
son
you,
too, he likes picking up weights. He loves
mhm.
doing different things around the house, or when I take him into the gym, he'll try to pick up heavy kettlebells, and so it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, but I do try to expose them to the different things that I do and that are
Yeah.
important to me.
Yeah, and then even with your daughter, because I know you say you have an older daughter and then two youngest ones, with her running track, I believe, and
Yes.
um,
Yeah. So my
yes,
daughter took after me
mm-hmm.
with the track, which I'm so glad about.
Hmm.
And yeah, she's in college right now. She's about to transfer actually, so that's a big thing. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
So even balancing time to make sure that she has what she needs
hmm,
emotionally, and not just
yeah,
financially, but emotionally, that she's
right,
ready to go to a different state and she's ready to be away from us. I'm not ready
mhm.
for it, but I
Yeah,
I know that it's important for her to experience such a
mhm.
monumental part of her life and her schooling career. So I'm excited for her. But there is time that needs to be etched out for that, right?
Yeah,
So, and I think we have to, as moms, be okay with shifting. So we
hmm,
have a plan. And the reason why we have a plan is so that we can shift it when necessary. So it's easier to move things around if everything's pretty much planned out than
yeah,
to, oh, I have 10 jobs to do, and now I have
hmm,
this, and now I have that, and now I have
hmm,
this. But okay.
hmm,
And even with going to visit her school next week, I'm like, okay, I have to move this here and this here and this here. But I have to
right,
be okay with shifts, because if I go back to my value system, my daughter ranks higher than my business.
right,
So
right,
I have to adjust. And it's not always fun. It's not always comfortable. I'm not saying that I'm happy adjusting, right? But
right, right.
it's something that's necessary in what I promised them. So that's another thing too, is scheduling everything, everything down to what conversations I'm going to have, what times I'm
Hmm.
going to have them, what gym time I'm going to have, making
Yeah,
sure that everything makes it on the calendar. And my husband and I have a shared calendar. So I see what he puts on the calendar,
hmm,
he sees what I put on the calendar, and I put
yeah,
everything on there. So that
yeah,
definitely helps too with balancing.
yeah. That's definitely important because at my age, I try to remember everything in my head, and it's like, oh no, I have to write it
No.
down or I'm going to forget
Yes.
because everyone has their schedules, and
Yes.
sometimes the kids forget to tell me, and then they're like at the last minute, like, Mom. So,
Yes.
it's definitely important to put it on a calendar and write it
Mhm.
down and just be on the same page. Like you said, you and your husband share a calendar. So
Mhm.
that is awesome. What brings me to my next question is, can you share with us some of the common obstacles that mothers face when it comes to maintaining a healthy lifestyle and how you help them overcome those challenges?
Yeah, so I work mainly with women. That is my
Mm,
jam. I love working with women because
mhm,
we have so much power inside of us, and
mhm.
we really shape the lives of others that are influenced by us, whether it be our children or even coworkers. We just have an influence that is so powerful. And
Yeah.
once we tap into that power, we can change the world.
Mhm.
So there are some common obstacles that I've seen over time, though. One is time, the conflicts that we have because we are overly committed to people and things. Sometimes they matter and sometimes they don't, which we'll
Right.
talk about in a little bit. But time is one.
Yeah.
Worthiness is another one. Feeling like we are worthy enough to take time to work on ourselves
Yeah.
is an obstacle that I come across a lot, saying that my children deserve my time first before I get time. Or if I
Mhm.
go to the gym, that's being selfish. If I need to find a babysitter, that's selfish. If
Mhm.
I'm not doing, we find it to be selfish, and it's not really
Mhm.
true.
Mhm.
It's resourceful that we
Mhm.
are able to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and that we're calling on other people, calling on the village, right?
Right.
To lessen the load that we have on ourselves so that we can show up authentically and healthy. And then I think another obstacle is confidence, knowing exactly what to do. Sometimes there's a feeling of helplessness when it comes to our health. As far as, oh my goodness, I've gotten so far from my picture of health. How do I even get back to that point? How do I get back to what I looked like 20 years ago, which may not be reasonable? Just saying. But how do I get to a picture of healthiness when I don't know the first step? So what I come along and do, I come alongside women to help them first create time, because if we are not, it's not going to magically appear. There's not going to be a magical 1 hour of your day where you have absolutely nothing to do. Right. I have not experienced it. So we have to make time, because if we don't make time for our health, then we have to take time for sickness. And that's just the truth of the matter. So we have to make time. So it's a matter of us looking at our calendars and figuring out, how do we make appointments with ourselves that are unbreakable, where we say these are mandatory appointments where I'm going to sit still for 5 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. Where I'm going to walk for 20 minutes, where I'm going to do a quick yoga class. But we have to put it on the calendar. And just like an appointment with our employer or someone who we're interested in, we have to make that same time for ourselves and make it mandatory. I'm showing up for myself because it's important. So we make time. The other thing is worthiness, and making sure that we know how worthy we truly are of self-care and healthiness. We are worthy of that, right? We're worthy of waking up and feeling good in the morning. We are worthy of looking in the mirror and saying something positive over ourselves. We are worthy of that. So that's something else that I work with my clients on. And then the confidence is the skills and the strategies. So notice that came later, right? So the skills, the strategies, the meal plans, the workouts, all of that comes after we recognize that we are worth being healthy and worth taking time for ourselves and worth honoring self-care. It's after we realize those things that we can start putting in strategies. So I come along and help women do that.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is probably prepping and meal planning. Like, I feel like it's easier when it's just, I don't even know if it's easier, because when you have a family, it's kind of hard if you're just trying to do the lifestyle and then you're making 2 separate meals for your family. And I think where the obstacle comes in at, for me, speaking for myself, is how to plan for the family, where everyone is still okay with eating with whatever I prep. I'm so used of the fried foods, the starches, and I don't even know if this is still true, that you make sure you have a meat, a starch, a vegetable. I mean, I don't even know if that's still the structure and how you should prepare for your family. So I think for me, that's where the obstacle comes in at. And then when you're raised a certain way, you're only raised to, or you're used to making certain meals.
Right.
And I know now we have the social media at our fingertips where they're constantly throwing recipes and stuff at us. I think as a mother, you get overwhelmed in just how to prep.
Yes. Prepping is hard. Prepping can be hard, but there are a couple cheat codes. Number one, we can always do one pot meals. That's something that we can do. Introducing new foods, having our children cook with us so they can be a part of the experience. But there are quick meals that we can prepare where it's not very strenuous, but we're getting it done. And every family is different as far as their nutritional needs go. But vegetables are important, of course. If you're trying to lose weight, we might need to shift the carbs and the fats a little bit, all of those things, and finding out what works for you.
Right.
But making multiple meals at a time. So if I'm going to cook dinner, I'm not a big cooker. I don't like to cook. I know I need to cook.
Right.
But it's not something where I'm like, oh, I feel great being in the kitchen.
Right.
That's just not me. It's just not me. Now, will I cook? Do I cook? Yes. But I make sure that the time that I'm in the kitchen is as meaningful as possible, meaning that I cook multiple meals at a time.
Okay.
So if I'm going to cook, I probably will cook my chicken and my fish on the same day. I probably will cook my
Mm,
sweet potatoes and my rice. And I like fresh vegetables, so I usually will, that only takes a few seconds to cook. But
right.
I try to batch cook those meals so that they're already ready. So my time in the kitchen, I might spend an hour in the kitchen, but once I come out of the kitchen, I have 2 or 3 meals.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? And the slow cooker meal, so I might have something in the crock pot, but I have
Mm-hmm.
some things in the oven too. So I'm utilizing that time in order to get the most out of it, so that the next day I'm like, oh, I have to go cook again.
Yeah, I know. Well, and this is what I was about to say because leftovers never happen in our family anymore.
Okay,
Like I feel like when they were younger, you can have leftovers to the next day, but I feel like now it's like a meal lasts that day and that's it. Or
right.
maybe for lunch the next day.
Hmm.
And then I'm back to cooking again. So I really haven't figured that out that out
Well,
yet
I
for
come along and
myself.
help people to figure it out.
Yeah,
Come
so
up with a
that's why
plan.
I have you on here to educate
Yes.
us because a lot of us out here need that.
Yes, and it might take us actually
Planning.
writing it down. Like, what are the meals that you like to cook? What's easy? What's,
Yeah.
that type of thing. And even
Uh-huh.
if, so let's take a meal like spaghetti. So spaghetti is great, right? Everybody loves spaghetti. Well, most people
Right.
like spaghetti.
Uh-huh.
But if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to cut your carbs, but your family loves spaghetti,
Right.
there's something that you can do with that and not put the noodles with the pasta and the ground, whatever ground meat
Uh-huh.
you choose,
Uh-huh.
but put the ground meat and the vegetable on your plate first and then top it with the spaghetti so that you still get some spaghetti, but
Right.
it's according to what your goals are. So it's still
Okay.
meeting you where you are. So there's a couple things that you can do in there, but that's one thing.
Yes, definitely have to get that down packed with the planning and all that.
Yes.
What inspired you to transition from being an elementary school teacher to becoming a certified trainer and nutrition coach?
Yes, so it goes back to balance. A lot of it goes back to balance. I became a coach while I was still teaching. So
Um,
during that time, I was teaching full time. Well, most of the time, I would have a client in the morning, I would go
mhm.
teach, and then I would have clients after school.
Wow.
And I would have a babysitter. I just had my daughter at the time, my older daughter.
Mhm.
But I would have a babysitter. I would go meet with clients again. And then I would come home, try to do homework and all of that. And that
Mhm.
began to burn me out significantly.
Yeah.
Um, so I adjusted a little bit, but I was still running my business.
Mhm.
COVID happened, and
Yeah.
that changed everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So during COVID time, and of course, I was doing that for years upon years. I did transition to doing some things online where I wasn't out of the house as much. But
Mhm.
when COVID happened, it really shifted things into perspective for me
Okay.
as far as what else do I have to give to children in a classroom format?
Mhm.
And what else is God calling me to do?
Yeah.
So it gave me time to sit and reflect and hear and plan strategically about what my next steps are going to be, how I want the
Mhm.
rest of my life to look like. What do I want to spend time on? Back to that value system. Is my value system showing up in my everyday schedule? And it
Yeah.
wasn't. I was at work. I was working
Mhm.
all the time
Mhm.
and I was
Mhm.
tired.
Yeah.
So when COVID happened, it allowed me to shift perspective, and it also gave me more time. It gave me more time to work with women. It gave
Yeah.
me more time to really iron out and figure out what my message was to women
Mhm.
and how to
Mhm.
help them. What are the major issues that they're having? How can they really break these generational cycles? And during that time, I felt the sensing that it was time to shift. It was time to shift and really help women develop a healthy lifestyle because they're being called to do so much. And if
Yeah.
they're not healthy enough to do it, then somebody somewhere is not getting the freedom that they need.
Mhm.
They're not getting the help that they need because you, me, every woman has a message. We have a mission.
Yeah.
And with that message and mission, we need our bodies. Our bodies are our temples. And our bodies are also our vehicles that are going to take us to places that we need to go. So our bodies need to be healthy enough to transport us and get us where we need to go. So if God says, okay, I need you to go to Kenya, which he did with me, are we
Yes,
healthy
which
enough
was
to do that?
awesome. Yes,
Are we
okay, go.
healthy enough to do that?
Yeah,
So, and I know all of your followers might not be religious people or believers, but we all have a calling. We all have a mission. We're all here for a
oh
reason.
yes,
And we need
yes,
to make sure that we're healthy enough to carry that out. So with that being said, during COVID, I had time to really sit, reflect, and figure out what I was supposed to do. And there were signs everywhere that it was just time to shift into doing this full time. A
yeah,
great opportunity was handed to me, and I took the leap. I took a leap.
yes.
I took a
And
leap of faith.
that's important to realize when it's time to take the leap, because
Yes,
sometimes we miss it, and then we go through that cycle all over again
all over
because
again.
we, yeah. So yeah, when I saw you like full fledged, I was like, go ahead, girl. You just don't know who's watching you like from afar,
Wow.
but you just like rooting on, like, yeah,
Oh,
you are doing it. I'm like, go ahead, girl. Yes,
you.
yes. I Yeah, it's important to sit back and reflect. And I know a lot of people during COVID had that time to like really just reflect because it allowed us to slow down a little bit. Before everyone
Yes.
was just going, 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 going.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you just stopped,
Stop.
it's
The
like,
world
okay.
stopped.
Yeah,
The
it's
world
like,
stopped.
okay, what am I supposed to be doing here? I know for me, um, a lot of my healing took place during
Yes.
COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I think before that I was kind of like moving on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I said in another show how I felt like I was moving on my own without God
Yes.
guidance. And sometimes when you do that, it doesn't work how it's supposed to work.
That part.
Yes. So I had to like really just like sit back and just like really like, okay, because if I'm not healed within, I know we're talking about our physical, but also when you're not healed within, whatever's inside of you has to come out. So
Yes.
if you're not healed within, then how can you project that on the outside?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, COVID was a healing process for me for a lot
Yeah.
of forgiveness I had to overcome. I went through a family situation during 2018 that was really traumatic for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and probably some of my followers probably noticed something wasn't right with
Yes.
Ramika. And I want to thank you personally for reaching out to me, just asking me if I was okay.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised um, of who will reach out to you, who
Yeah.
really, really, really cares, and who's watching you. And at that time, I felt like I had nobody. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
where's all the friends, and where's
Yeah.
all the so-called family, which I
Right.
have a good support system. But I feel like when I went through that, I kind of saw who people for who they really were.
Yeah.
And that was really traumatic for me. So I had to sit back. And that sitting back and just being still was rough for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I get that staying still and kind of like reflecting on what your purpose is and then taking the leap.
Yeah.
Um, and I felt like now it's time for me to go back to do Let's Talk Motivation with Mommies Tea Time because
Yes.
that's just what God gave me. And I want to support other mothers who are in business or thinking about starting a business and, you know, just motivate them. Be a
Mhm.
support system, get them out there, because that's what I wanted for me. I wanted somebody to like put me on their platform, or
Mhm.
like my comments and
Yes.
social media stuff, share, and I
Mhm.
wanted that. So I wanted to create a platform for mothers to have that support system. And I just wanted to just personally, just right here, just personally thank you for reaching out to me during that during that time,
Mhm.
where I just needed something. And
You're very welcome.
it wasn't much, but it meant a lot to me that you reached out to me. Are you all right? You okay? Well, I'm praying for you, and that's,
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't ask what, why.
No.
You just
Yeah.
knew, you just knew something. So I just wanted to, thank you for that.
Of course. And can I add one thing? Well, it's a
Hmm.
couple things, but
Hmm.
first, I honor what you're doing here because you are using your pain for purpose.
Yeah.
So you're not holding on to it. They say the last stage of healing is helping someone else go through what you've already been through. So you're
Yes.
at this beautiful stage of life. And when we talk about health, how do we not talk about our mental health
Right.
and our emotional health? Our
Right.
health is really about relationships, right? How we are with ourselves, how we are with our God, our Heavenly Father, how we are
Mhm.
with others. So if we're not healthy in one of those relationships, it's going to reflect on us. So
Oh yeah.
healing is a part of health. And
Yes.
we, need to make sure that all areas of us, we are women all the way through, right?
Yes.
If one area is not healthy, then the other areas are not going to be healthy either. I'm not going to eat right
Absolutely.
if I'm stressed about A, B, and C. And a lot
Yes.
of people don't realize that trauma is trapped in our bodies. It doesn't leave. So if we
Nope.
don't deal with it, then that can lead to mental illnesses, that can lead
Oh
to
yeah.
chronic illnesses, that can lead to
Mhm.
pain in our joints and our muscles because tension is held in different places.
Oh
So
yeah.
we need to deal with trauma because trauma gets trapped in our bodies. And mindfulness and movement and all types of healing platforms can help with that, but that is a part of health. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
perfect to
You
talk about those things.
you yeah, you are right on it with that, because my body basically just like one day just shut down. Like
Yeah.
it's like, what
Yeah.
what the heck is going
Right. Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh no. And that was an eye opener for me, because I'm like, oh no, I gotta get myself together
Yes.
because
Yes. Yes.
it
Yes.
kind of scared me a little bit. And then
Mhm.
when COVID happened, like I said, that's when the whole healing process just happened.
Right.
And I'm actually feeling good. I feel like I'm getting back, but I'm
Hey.
getting back differently. Like I'm really like
Yes.
just letting God lead, because I don't know where this is going. But if God
Right.
says go ahead and do it, I'm just going to
And
go
do
ahead
it.
and do it, and just do it scared.
I love it. I love it. I do so many things scared. I leaped. I was terrified. I was terrified. What? But we
Scared.
trust in the process. We really we are obedient and we trust God, right? We go through
Yes.
the process, but and we say like trust the process, but it's really trusting God.
Yeah. Yep.
Trusting that we heard
Yep.
him, trusting that he knows what's best.
Yeah, and then when you hear like the end plan, like God tells you, He send people your way. He's like, yeah, God said it's gonna this and it's gonna be
Yeah,
this and that, and you're looking like, okay, when am I gonna get to that? And then
that part.
yeah, it's like going through the process. But this time around, I'm just going through the process happy and
Mhm.
just letting God do what He do. And like you said, I'm helping, and that's just what I'm going to focus on right now.
I love
And
that.
that's it. And we're going to go to our next question, because we can
Okay.
stay there. We can stay there for a long time talking
I
about
know.
that. Yeah. Could you tell us how you incorporate your background in education into coaching approach to help women make lasting changes in their lives?
Sure. So my teaching comes into play a lot, actually. One of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I loved as a teacher is recognizing that every child is different. Every
Yeah.
child comes with their own story. Every child
Mm-hmm.
comes with their own set of gifts and sometimes their own challenges too. So whatever they may be.
Mhm.
And with that, you have to teach every child differently too. So
Yes.
some kids may learn by you talking to them. Some kids may
Mhm.
learn by you putting on music. Some kids do better when they're standing up to write. Some kids
Mhm.
like to sit on the floor and read, so
Yeah.
there's a different plan for everyone.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing with adults. When I'm dealing with moms, the difference is they've gone through life and they've gone through some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but everyone comes with their own sets of strengths. So I
Mhm.
like to really focus on the strengths, and then the weaknesses kind of come along and we work on those, but we use the
Mhm.
strengths. We focus on the strengths first. So what are we
Mhm.
good at? And
Yeah.
if we figure out what we're good at, then we can figure out the who or the what to help us in the other areas. So if
Yes.
you say, okay, I'm terrible at planning. Okay, well, there's some systems out there, there's some programming out
Mhm.
there that can help you with that. If you're
Yeah.
good at washing clothes and doing homeschooling, let's focus on that, and
Right.
let's find some other people to do the other things,
Right.
if
Right.
possible, if we're there. But I think leaning into the strengths really builds the confidence that we talked about earlier. And
Mhm.
it, yeah, it gives women the sense that, okay, I am doing what I'm supposed to, and I'm not less because I can't do A, B, and C, because I'm doing
Mhm.
D through Z.
Mhm. Yeah.
So if we focus on what we're good at, then we can
Mhm.
figure out ways to get around what we're not. And that's okay. It's okay to do that. We're not perfect. And once we recognize that,
You
it's
are,
on.
yeah, you're absolutely right because at one time I just thought I had to be like the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect this, the perfect friend, the perfect this. And you can't be perfect, and you
Right.
can't, everything can't be perfect. I mean, you're going to have hiccups, and it's not the end of the world if it don't work out the
Right.
way that you're supposed to work out. And then you're like
Right.
beating yourself up because you don't feel like you're
All of
as
it.
organized and on point like you should be,
Right.
when all actuality you are doing a good job. And then you're
You're
like,
doing
you
a
can't
great
understand
job.
how everyone is saying, oh, you're doing such a good job. And then my mind is like, I'm not. Okay. Because this didn't go the way it was supposed that I planned it to go. Like, it's just
Right.
we put so much on ourselves, um, and just have to be gentle with ourselves.
Yes.
You
And I
know.
think small steps too, not
Yeah.
we can't climb a staircase, the whole
Mhm.
staircase at a time, right? It's one
Mhm.
step at a time. So, what are small things that you can do on a daily basis to get closer to your goals? If
Yeah.
that's drinking water, great. If that's taking the soda out, okay, that's a start.
Mhm.
Let's start there. So,
Mhm.
figuring out where
Mhm.
we can start to take that first step, and
Yeah.
then we take the next step and the next step.
Mhm.
So, it's one step at a time, not one staircase at a time.
You
So,
are
that's
absolutely
another
right. You are absolutely right because it's like I gained 50 pounds and I'm trying to get lose 50 pounds like
in a
tomorrow.
day,
Okay.
right? Right. It takes like 5 years for stuff to happen, or 10 years, and you wake up like, oh, okay, I'm not where I want to be. It's
Yeah.
going to take some time to get back to a place that feels comfortable and into a routine. And because we've built the routine over time, right? So it's not going
Yes.
to change in a day or maybe even a month. It may take a year, it may take 3 years to get to a point where you're really feeling confident in your
Yeah.
healthy lifestyle. But it's okay to take that time, because once it's in place, then it becomes a lifestyle. Once you have a goal and it becomes a habit, then
Mhm.
those habits, as you build those habits, that's what makes a healthy lifestyle.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And that's what I'm like focusing on now is just habits and
Yes.
being consistent. And even with doing this show, it's like really pushing me to be consistent.
Yes.
Because that was like my biggest thing. Like, if I can just be consistent, and like you said, you have to make time for it. Just put that
Yes.
time aside, and that's the time for it. And,
Right.
if before I used to be like, I don't have time, I got this, I have the kids, I have this, I have you make time for
You
what
make
you really
time.
want to do.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We make time.
So, yeah, so doing this show is really helping me with being consistent and creating habits,
Hmm.
yeah, and being accountable, showing up for myself.
Yes.
And
I love
so
that.
yeah, that was really on point about just, yeah. And that will doing that will definitely make lasting changes
Yes,
in my life,
definitely.
and that's what I'm looking forward to, and I hope that my listeners are looking forward to that also.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? We need to talk a little bit more about Go Strong Fitness and
Okay.
Grow Strong Apparel because her workout stuff is cute.
Thank
Okay.
you. I have something on now.
And I have to like, I gotta get me something because I'm like, I don't look all that good right now. So I
That's
want to get some
okay.
big,
That's
look, I want to
okay.
get some big size. I want to get, I want to get a
Listen,
small
love
size.
yourself where you are as you get to where you want to be. Okay.
But yeah, her workout outfits are like so cute. So I just want you to talk a little bit more about Grow Strong fitness and apparel, and your schedule and how
Mhm.
you operate your business.
All right, wonderful.
Mhm.
So I, of course, am the owner of Go Strong Fitness and
Mhm.
Apparel.
Yeah.
As a healthy lifestyle coach, I come alongside women just like you that are listening right now.
Yeah.
And I come alongside, see where you are, and push you to the next level to get you to start to create a healthy lifestyle. That's really what I do. So,
Yeah.
whether it be eating healthier or moving our bodies, I'm
Mhm.
all about mindfulness and movement. So, how are we being mindful in our daily decisions, the things that we say yes to? And the
Mhm.
things that we say no to, because every time we give someone a yes, we're saying no to something else. So making sure that we're
Mhm.
saying the right yeses and the right nos,
Right
because no
moves.
is a
Right.
complete sentence and it's okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's a thing. But I do meal plans. I also do fitness plans. I have fitness classes that I do as well, online and in person. So whatever your needs are, I really come alongside with you.
Mhm.
And if you have an organization, I do presentations as well and
Right.
planning for your organization. So if you're looking to for ways to retain your
Mhm.
employees, making sure they're in a healthy state of mind and body, because that helps you as a business owner.
Yeah.
I do that as well. And I also do retreats. I'll be hosting my first retreat, which I'm so excited
Yeah.
about. Flourish Women's
Mhm.
Wellness Retreat. I'll be
Yeah.
hosting that August 3rd through the 6th, which is first of many retreats where women are coming together, taking the load off of their daily schedules, the load off of what they are doing all the time, and focusing really on themselves. So, their
Yeah.
relationship with God, their relationship with themselves. And we are in a nurturing environment with other like minded women where we're
Yeah.
going to create a space of healing and healthiness. And I'm just over the top excited about that. It's in Montego Bay, Jamaica. So if you want to
Yeah.
get in, I got a
Yeah.
couple more spots left. Come on and join us.
Yes, I am
And
so excited for you for
thank
that. And I'm so sorry
you.
I can't be
I
there.
know. I'm sad. I'm sad.
I was just like trying to figure out how I can make a way, but I'm just like, I can't. I really want to be
I'm
there.
sorry.
Um, but yeah, she's having that flourish retreat,
Yes.
and I know it's going to be awesome. In Jamaica.
Hmm.
So I have all her information going across the screen, and I'll definitely have it in the details where you can go and sign up if you want to be a
Yes.
part of that. Also, if you want to be a part of her meal prep plan and
Mhm.
workouts and stuff. I think in the summertime too. You do outdoor workout?
I do. So right
Mhm.
now, Mondays we're outside, Wednesdays we're
Mhm.
inside,
Mhm.
Wednesdays and Saturdays we're inside, but I'm online as well. So no matter where you are, I have people
Okay.
that are in Minnesota, I have
Yeah.
people in Virginia, North Carolina. So wherever
Mhm.
you are, I'm here to serve you. So if you're ready
Yes.
to create generational health for not only yourself, but your children, I am here to help you do that.
Yes. And in my mind, she is my personal trainer. I gotta get
One
myself
day, come
together.
on over. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, she is my coach. I don't care what nobody say. When
That's
I'm
right. I'm
ready,
your
that's
coach.
my coach.
That's right.
Yeah, so
That's right.
yeah, and yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing this with us. Yeah, she is part of the Mommy's Tea Time personal nutritionist trainer. So if
Yeah.
you are looking for a trainer, Bernia is the person to go to. Yes.
Yes.
And when the website is up and running, she will be listed as Mommy's Tea
Awesome.
Time
Thank
nutritionist coach.
you. Thank you so much.
Um, y- yeah, and I want to leave you guys with. We're coming to the end of our show. I want to leave you guys with our affirmation for the week. Is I have the power to create and nourishing and transformative journey towards a healthier lifestyle. Yeah, and thank you again,
I
Bernie.
love that.
If
Thank
you
you
just
so much.
yeah, and if you want to I don't leave us with your last encouraging words you want to leave with us, you can.
Sure. I would say, I know you spoke earlier about what our parents did, and oftentimes we do what our parents have done and we just repeat the same
Mm-hmm.
things. But I would say honor our culture by preserving the traditions that serve us, and we honor our future by creating and releasing traditions that no longer serve us and creating new ones. So don't be scared to make transitions, to make changes, and do it one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed with the whole entire picture. Put one puzzle piece in at a time and it'll come together. You have the power to do this, so go strong.
Yes, awesome. Go strong. Yes. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time. Join us every Monday at 9 a.m. as we continue to inspire and empower moms to manifest the life that they want.